Welcome back, campers.
That was Caitlin.
And that was Genevieve.
And you have arrived at Camping is Cancelled. Today is a blind read on theme with Survival Summer. Caitlin and I have found a blind read, which, as we mentioned at the top of every blind read, is an article that we know absolutely nothing about the true crime story. We only look at the length. This is a nice long juicy one on longreads.com, and we make sure that it kind of fits with the vibe of our podcast and that it is not behind a paywall. The title of this article today, which immediately grabbed our attention, is titled You Can Run by Meier. And the blurb at the top goes like this. When their parents ripped two young sisters from their privileged lives, gave them fake names, and took them on the lam, they thought it was because their father was in trouble with the IRS. It would be years before they learned the truth about his life of crime. Thank you to longreads.com for posting this article. Thank you to Meier for writing it. We will be sure to link and credit all in the show notes. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get into You Can Run by Meier. Lights out, campers.
Oh man, the mountains call my number one. I'm just a life-size lottery ticket in the hand of the one.
The boxes. Erin McCann raced along the Pennsylvania Turnpike at 75 miles per hour, desperate to reach her mother's house before it was too late. Erin, a lawyer, had left Philadelphia soon after the call came, and as she drove past the farms of Pennsylvania Dutch country, she could still hear her mother's voice. Quote, "They're out there. I'm done." Honestly, 75 is still too slow, but that's just me. That's just me.
If you're desperate to reach your mother's house before it was too late, that's certainly, talk about a hook, that grabbed my attention. But yeah, I would be pushing 85 at least.
105. I'm in the
gas
3 digits.
Gas pedal.
Exactly. Erin's mother, Leah, had called to tell her a secret. Years earlier, she had hidden away 2 boxes filled with government documents connected to a series of extraordinary crimes. She told Erin that she couldn't bear to keep the records any longer, so they were now at the curb with the trash. Erin, who had not been aware that the documents existed, asked her mother to bring them back inside. Leah refused. Now, Erin's only hope of learning the truth about the events that had shattered her childhood was getting the boxes before the garbage collectors did. Back in 1984, when Erin was 13, her life seemed perfect. Her father, John H. McCain, III, was successful, charming, and funny. Leah was beautiful and elegant. Erin and her younger sister Meredith, who was 10, lived in a Tudor-style mansion in Fox Chapel, a wealthy suburb of Pittsburgh.
That sounds wealthy.
It does.
Chapel. I love how that sounds. I would have lived there and wear furs.
In your little boat shoes.
Yeah.
You know, I was preppy too, unfortunately, as a kid.
But, you know, it could be synthetic fur, not real fur.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this next line is what would grab me in.
Oh, yes.
The family had 2 golden retrievers, Ginger and Nutmeg.
Oh.
And Erin took riding lessons on a horse named Super Pony.
That sounds like a drag queen name.
It does. Super Pony.
Super Pony, honey.
Oh, fuck. No, actually, this sentence is what would get me in Fox Chapel. There was a swimming pool in their backyard, along with a zip line, a treehouse, and a playhouse from F.A.O. Schwartz that looked like a log cabin.
Sweet.
I want that now. As a freshly new 30-year-old, I want that.
I mean, that's peak childhood and peak adulthood, honestly.
Yes. Then, one September morning, the doorbell rang. When Meredith opened the front door, 2 men in suits asked if her parents were home. Her father was away on a business trip, but Leah came downstairs and told the men that she would be right back to speak with them after dropping Meredith at school. By the time Aaron and Meredith got home that afternoon, their mother had left town. They weren't worried. She often went to Florida.
Excuse me.
What? Leaving them with Julie, their favorite sitter. Over the next few days, Julie took the girls to Baskin Robbins. Aaron would later recall ordering mint chocolate chip, while Meredith got pink bubblegum.
Oh, let's see. Where did it say that they're from? Wealthy suburb of Pittsburgh. Florida's a long way away,
Yeah.
but they're definitely. It seems like a family who summers. You know, like the mom who's like,
Yeah.
"I'm going to summer in Florida this year," or just I'm going for the weekend to Florida.
Yeah,
Julie's
that's not
coming
like leaving
over.
town.
That's a big old
That's
trip.
yeah.
But that's what you do when you live in Fox Chapel, honey.
Whenever the payphone outside the ice cream shop rang, Julie picked it up and handed the girls the receiver. Their mother was on the line. Leah said she was in Fort Lauderdale decorating a new condo their father had bought. There we go.
Okay.
After about 2 weeks, Julie told Aaron and Meredith that they would be flying to Detroit for the weekend. Their mother was already there, she said, visiting her younger sister Sally. The girls liked Sally and her husband, Steve Hagerman. Steve roughhoused with his nieces and gave them presents from the small chain of running shoe stores he owned in the Detroit suburbs. Julie hauled several suitcases filled with Leah's clothing to the airport, along with goodie bags of stickers and candy for Aaron and Meredith. As she hugged the girls, she seemed confused. It was like she was saying goodbye, Aaron recalled. But we were like, see you Sunday. Sally was waiting for her nieces at the Detroit airport. Instead of driving home, she crossed the U.S. border into Windsor, Ontario, and parked outside of a motel. She took Aaron and Meredith to a room. Their mother was inside. Leah told her daughters that they wouldn't be going back to Fox Chapel. Not after the weekend, not ever, because the government had accused their father of not paying his taxes. It wasn't true, Leah insisted. Still, with federal agents searching for John, the family had to leave. They would all disappear and start a new life elsewhere, under new names. Leah told her daughters that they would never see their friends again. They couldn't even call them to say goodbye.
This story better address what happened to Ginger, Nutmeg, and Super Pony. I just need to say that at the top.
God,
Because
I was blissfully unaware for a
at
second.
the very top of this article, blown up big, is a picture of Ginger and Nutmeg, so we better hear their names again, because I'm already saying
good way.
justice. Yeah, I'm already saying justice for Ginger, Nutmeg, and Super Pony.
Aaron and Meredith cried and begged to stay behind. They said they would live with neighbors, with their grandparents, with anyone. Their mother was unmoved. She made it clear that from now on, they needed to do exactly as they were told. The McCanns vanished, as did Sally and Steve. It wasn't that hard. They were living in the golden age of fugitives. Good God, passports were easy to counterfeit. That sounds.
What?
I don't like pre 9/11.
I don't like that.
Well, I do like pre 9/11.
Oh, well,
You know,
I
what
know
I mean.
what you mean. When security was very
I'm
lax.
okay with being frisked down. Okay, I'm okay.
You need that passport. That's like the holy grail of identification that you should not be able to fake.
Yeah. Ugh. So yeah, passports, easy to counterfeit.
Oh, God.
Hotels and airlines took cash, and there weren't cell phones or personal computers that authorities could track.
I don't think
That's
you're
wild.
even allowed. I don't think you can. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you're allowed to buy plane tickets now with cash. I think you have to buy them digitally
Or
because
with a card.
yeah, like with a card, you have to buy them
Wow.
because the purchase has to be traced
Mhm.
back to you. I could be wrong, but I feel like I read that somewhere recently that cash is not accepted as a means of purchasing the ticket, that you can use it sometimes if you have to like check an extra bag because they still put it onto your like account. But if you are buying things online, you have to always provide some sort of like ID or anything anyway. And now you have to buy your ticket online before the day of. Because if you do it the day of, you get flagged as being like
Right,
really
yeah.
sketchy. So it makes sense. It's just an extra security measure.
So, for a year and a half, Aaron and Meredith hopscotched around the world with their parents. Their hideouts included a... Okay, never mind. I'm okay. I'm okay now. Like, I'm going to be changing my mind. I'm going to be whiplashing, I bet. But, like, whisk me away, because their hideouts included a villa on Majorca? Majorca. Don't know what that is, but it's a villa. First-class hotels in London, and a remote ranch in British Columbia.
Ooh. I love
But that
British
does
Columbia.
not replace what you grew up with and what, like, your loved ones. So that does suck.
Yeah.
As an adult, I'm okay with it. Meredith, who had her father's dark features, went by the names Alexander Gregor, Allison McCarthy, and Rachel Mercer. Erin, who was blonde like her mother, attended an elite British boarding school as Christine Jordan, an alias chosen by her father in tribute to Jordan Almonds, the candy. Okay.
That's funny.
The girls told made-up stories to their new friends about who they were and where they were from. Then, one day, they would wake up to learn that they had to disappear again. Their time on the run ended in heartbreak, and Erin and Meredith felt the reverberations through adolescence and into adulthood. For years, they asked their mother to tell them everything she knew about the events that had turned their family into fugitives. Leah refused, and eventually, they stopped asking. Now, Erin finally had a chance to get answers. She took the exit for York, the small city 100 miles west of Philadelphia, where her mother had grown up, and where she had taken her daughters after their lives came crashing down. When Erin turned into Hillcock Lane, she glimpsed the ranch house where she had spent her senior year in high school. The boxes of government files had been there in the basement, right under her feet. Slowing down her car, Erin scanned the curb. There, alongside trash cans awaiting pickup, she glimpsed the outlines of 2 battered bankers' boxes.
Hell yeah. Get them boxes. Then she gets arrested for
gosh.
stealing trash or gets a boot on her car. Oh, God, that'd be my luck. Boom times. Growing up, Erin loved hearing her mother tell the story of how she met John. She was on summer break from college working at a luncheonette in Ocean City, New Jersey, when he walked in, ordered a Coke, and left her a huge tip. After that, Leah said, he swept her off her feet. John spent his summer evenings collecting cover charges outside 2 popular clubs, Bay Shores and the Dunes, that his father owned around the coastal town of Somers Point, just across a causeway from Ocean City. John was raised in Philadelphia. He was an intelligent kid but had struggled to concentrate in school. His father, a former bootlegger, did not hesitate to hit John and told him he would end up driving a truck. Okay, bootlegging was cool, the second part was not.
No.
After John failed all his classes 1 year in high school, his frustrated mother sent him to a military academy in Florida. Oh, God. That made me think of the one that, what's-his-face, the serial killer that Margie Palm survived.
Yeah.
Steven something or other. He
Yes.
was sent to a military academy in Florida. Yikes. So, that was not a good place.
I don't know. Sending your kids to a military academy for punishment.
No.
I don't think that's a great idea.
No.
Anyways.
Especially in this time.
Yeah.
Especially in this time. As like you're troubled and out of control, let's ship you off to military school with a bunch of other really angry, fucked up kids. And give you a gun.
Yay.
I mean, I know they got the wooden ones at first, but, you graduate to the real
Full
ones.
Metal Jacket.
Lord. In Somers Point, John earned the nickname Cash because of all the money he collected at his father's clubs. He used his income to reinvent himself. He started going by John H. McCann III, which he thought sounded more impressive than his given name, John H. McCann Jr., and he dressed the part. He slicked back his wavy black hair, bought monogram shirts, and wore a ring engraved with his family's crest. He drove a white Aston Healey sports car and purchased expensive suits at a shop across the street from Princeton University. He told girls that he was a student there, even though he really attended Rider College 8 miles down the road. John liked to shower girlfriends with extravagant gifts. Before meeting Leah, he fell in love with a young woman named Susan. When she told him that she was flying to London on vacation, he purchased her a ticket to travel instead on the SS France, a luxury ocean liner. He was a meticulous dresser. He knew about Hermes, Tiffany, and all of that, Susan said in an interview. Caitlin's face right now is like, ew. I feel giddy on the inside with how fast I would have been sucked into this bitch's orbit. I love a mob wife aesthetic. The mob wives in like all the Godfather movies, in American Hustle, sign me
See, I want
up.
like a rich rancher, so I want land in the mountains.
I
I'm okay with
see.
wearing a bolo
I see.
if it gets me like a pig
I like
on land.
I love that too. It depends what mood I'm in, but there's something about this. But if he also is not afraid to get his hands dirty, like if he knows how to like roll up his sleeves and get shit done, that's one thing. But I
Yeah.
see if he just is like a pretty boy that is like, I can't handle
Now,
ranch
all of
life.
this is like, but then it was when you said about Hermes, that's how I would fucking
Oh,
pronounce it.
Hermes.
I don't know what the fuck that is. I know what no boundaries at Walmart is, and I'm okay with that.
Hermes, both Hermes and Tiffany are just like luxury
Yeah.
accessories. Hermes
Couldn't care
scarves
less.
and bags.
Couldn't
That's what
care
it is.
less.
But
Give me a fucking bandana, a handkerchief that he blows his nose in. I'm okay as long as he's got nice hands and forearms and doesn't beat me. You know?
I don't need any of that for myself, but I've always really loved, like in movies and books,
Like,
just that aesthetic of like
yeah.
the old money, but kind of sketchy, like mob ties stuff. The glamour, I just love it. I love it. So John proposed to Susan, but she said no. She didn't trust him, and she suspected that he was stealing money from his father. Susan has far better survival instincts than I
Good
do.
for her.
When John and Leah became engaged, the newspaper announcement described him as a student at Stetson Law School who had earned a graduate degree from Princeton, where he was Phi Beta Kappa. Leah knew John hadn't attended Princeton and had actually flunked out of Villanova Law School. But these were the first of many lies she let slide. See, that's where I would draw the line.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a gangsta, you gotta be upfront about it. You
Like,
can't.
you gotta
Can't be like a schemer to that degree, because
Yeah.
that's icky.
You
That's
can't
not
just talk
cool.
the talk. You gotta show it.
Exactly. You can be a gangster, but you better have that law degree too.
Ugh.
Along with his love, John offered Leah something she had always dreamed of: a lavish lifestyle. As a child in York, Leah had felt embarrassed by her family's economic situation. Her friends' mothers were all housewives, but her mom had to work because her father didn't earn much money doing radio and TV repair. Soon after meeting Leah, John romanced his future in-laws by sending them a new refrigerator and other appliances. After getting married, John and Leah attended a small law school in Baltimore together, and for a few years afterward, John worked for a condominium developer. Then he decided to try politics. During a 1971 parade in Summers Point, where the couple had made their home, John and Leah sat perched on the back of a convertible, waving to onlookers with Erin, then an infant, on her mother's lap. A banner affixed to the car read, "McCann for Mayor." At 29, John won the mayor's race. A year later, he was also elected as a surrogate court judge. Damn, they be doing a lot in their 20s.
Good
Whew.
Lord.
20-somethings today, that's a whole nother experience.
God, I could cry. I'm no longer in my 20s.
It's okay. 30s have been my best decade by far so far.
Okay.
Except I think for my very first one where all of my needs were met and I wasn't aware that I was alive. You know?
Yep.
Welcome.
Oh gosh, but yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of like schools and switching up and
Law school?
well,
Damn.
yada yada.
Intense. After law school, running for mayor probably felt
Mhm.
like a walk in the park. So those jobs were fine, but John wanted to be rich, and eventually the opportunity presented itself. In 1974, the long-dormant coal industry was roaring back to life after Arab countries halted oil shipments to the U.S. to protest its military support for Israel. Speculators were scooping up coal mines, and John's old boss, the condo developer, said he would buy one if John agreed to run it. The pair purchased a mine outside Pittsburgh, and John began spending all his time there. He was still collecting his salaries as mayor and judge, but he wasn't attending city council meetings or court hearings. When someone tipped off a local paper, the Press of Atlantic City, it sent reporters to stake out John's office and soon ran an expose depicting him as a no-show public official. John resigned, telling the paper that he was eager to move on to a new future in coal anyway.
Thank you. Next.
Erin often heard about her father's days as mayor of a small New Jersey town. She didn't know that his tenure ended in scandal because her parents never told her. The McCanns left Summers Point for Fox Chapel, where John had an older home extensively remodeled. 12-foot-high bay windows in the kitchen looked out onto a patio and a pool. Leah added her own decorating touches, including a Waterford chandelier near the front door. It changed the whole look of the house, she told a reporter for an article about local society homes. Erin's best friend, Rachel, was the elder sister of Meredith's best friend, Courtney. While the younger girls rode bikes together, Erin and Rachel raced small motorbikes on a track carved out of a field behind their houses. Hell yeah. God, that
Yeah.
sounds sick. Oh.
Gosh.
They looked so much alike, they thought of themselves as twins. But when Erin returned from shopping sprees with her mother loaded down with new school dresses and shoes, Rachel couldn't help feeling jealous. One of Leah's closest friends was Aleta Blair, the wife of Rocky Blair. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's Bleier, so I'm just going to say Blair. A former running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers and a local legend. Rocky had volunteered early in his football career to fight in Vietnam and was seriously wounded. He was told he would never play again. Instead, he helped lead the Steelers to 4 Super Bowl championships. Now that is cool.
Damn.
That is cool. The McCanns attended the glitzy 1980 Pittsburgh premiere of Fighting Back, a made-for-TV movie based on Rocky's life. Erin recalled becoming separated from her family at the event and getting a ride home in a limousine. What is their life? At the Pittsburgh Field Club, Leah and Aleta played tennis or sunbathed by the pool while Leah smoked cigarettes and drank Manhattans. John and Rocky went to Steelers games and boxing matches. The couple's children were close in age and spent school vacations together skiing or at a Florida resort called the Lago Mar in Fort Lauderdale. During Christmas holidays, members of the Steelers came to the McCanns' home to sing carols. Erin had a crush on the team's star wide receiver, Lynn Swann, and one year she gave him a peck on the cheek under the mistletoe.
Immediately looking him up.
Lynn Swann.
Okay.
Let me see. Lynn, he looks
Wait,
like
who's
a...
Lynn?
Lynn Swann?
No, oh, sorry.
That's
not
the
Lynn.
wide
No,
receiver.
so sorry. Gosh,
Who's
dang,
Lynn?
Erin. Wait, so like how old was Erin when she gave him a peck?
A teenager, I guess. I mean, that's just something,
Hey, you know
teenager
what?
do.
88? I'm
that
not mad.
that bitch looks like a black Errol Flynn.
Who?
Errol Flynn, the really famous... Look up Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn.
Oh.
Errol Flynn was like the original Robin Hood actor, and then he did a bunch of action movies.
Ah.
Mhm. Of course was, I'm sure, a raging misogynist and alcoholic, but he was pretty dang handsome.
You know.
In silent movies, and then I think did some Robin Flynn. I'm so Robin Hood. They talked in that movie. I remember watching that when I was a kid. I'd check out the VHS from the library.
Oh, he's got a cute smile though.
But yeah, something about his smile and his eyes and his little stash. I immediately thought of Errol Flynn.
I'm a sucker for a stash. I know you aren't, but
listen,
right
I'll
stash.
give it to Lynn and Errol. They could rock the stash. So, to friends and neighbors, John came across as a generous and gregarious cut-up. He liked to wear silly costumes and stage a home version of Family Feud.
I love that.
Oh my God, we need to do that.
We should.
That'd be amazing. One Christmas season, he arrived by helicopter to the private school his daughters attended, dressed as Santa. On most weekdays, he was away at the mine, but when he was home, Aaron and Meredith would snuggle in bed with him and watch old episodes of the Abbott and Costello show. They also saw another side of their father. John was strict and controlling. He wanted his daughters to dress in identical clothing embroidered with their initials, and told them to wear their hair long, that it looked more ladylike than the popular bob cut. He wrote down chores for everyone in the family on sheets of yellow legal paper. Aaron and Meredith got lists of books to read and words to memorize. The house had about a dozen phones, and John instructed Aaron to answer formally. McCann residence, Aaron speaking. How may I help you? Okay, that's how I was taught to answer the phone.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, same.
John told his daughters that there was only one right way to install a new roll of toilet paper. Feeding forward from the top, not hanging down and back. I mean, that is correct.
Honestly.
And insisted that they get straight A's while lying about his own academic achievements.
The lack of respect I would have for this man.
Yeah. John struggled with his weight and made his daughters self-conscious about their appearance. No. See, aside from the haircuts and the clothes, like, that was a little weird, but the strictness with, like, the chores and the book lists, that's normal, like, I would say normal for this
You're
era.
just trying
just
to...
stricter. Like, you have high standards for your kids, but this
is a no.
No, this next bit. So he made his daughters self-conscious about their appearance. Quote, a moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips, he chided.
I mean, he is a cocaine dealer.
We don't know that yet, Caitlin.
Oh, well, you know, from the beginning, I mean, there's cocaine involved. So he was like, babes, I got a diet plan for you.
Oh my God.
Gosh. Is it cocaine or is it? Yeah, it's cocaine that makes you skinny, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's heroin too. It all, I don't know. Don't do drugs,
you
kids.
know what? Don't do drugs, yeah.
So as John cycled through fad diets, he sometimes made the girls go on them too. They would eat half a grapefruit for breakfast, then go jogging with their father. Hell no.
The coal boom didn't last, and by the late 1970s, John was scrambling. He told his daughters that his business went bankrupt. A former employee later told investigators that John and his partner had drained money out of it. An investment firm that bought the mine also accused John in a lawsuit of concealing the involvement of organized crime in the operation in exchange for kickbacks. None of that makes sense to me, but...
Basically, that just means that the mafia was involved in something to do with the mine.
Was it like money laundering?
And no, so he was basically allowing them, I mean, it could have been, but somehow the mafia was involved in the production of the mine, but they were kicking back money to him. So basically they were just giving him some of the whatever they were doing.
Like profits off the books, kind of? Okay.
Yeah. Kicking back him, being like, here you go. We're going to throw some money your way because you're helping. Like, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours kind of thing. Yeah.
So soon he moved on to marketing sketchy tax shelters. A prospective business partner later told federal agents that John had said they could make a quick profit together by charging investors $250,000 to set up a shelter when the real cost was only $25,000.
Oh, shit. And this is 1980, so...
Gosh dang. When the man said that the plan was illegal, John's response was brief. Quote, "Nothing is illegal until you hear the doors slam." That needs to be like embroidered on a pillow.
Does that mean the prison doors?
That's what it makes it sound like to
the
me.
cell doors?
Yeah. It's not illegal unless you get
Can
caught.
you please embroider that on a very
I will.
beautiful thing? That's what we
I'll
need
make
to
it a banner for George Cooney.
Yes. That's what we need to start doing for podcast giveaways. Nothing is illegal till you hear the
Quotes.
doors slam.
Gosh.
Shut up, Dennis. Just shut
Yeah,
up,
shut
Dennis.
up, John. Another name.
Yeah.
Despite his schemes, John's financial hole deepened. Bill collectors kept calling. The owner of the Fox Chapel Pharmacy, where Leah bought cosmetics on credit, froze her account until she paid what she owed. The McCanns were plummeting towards bankruptcy. In late 1981, John and Leah flew to Detroit to see Steve and Sally, leaving their daughters, who had no idea of their parents' dire financial straits, at home in Fox Chapel. Leah confided to her sister that John was broke and desperate. Sally said she thought Steve might be talking to John at that very moment about making a fresh start by joining him in the sneaker business. Instead, the men were discussing a much faster way to make money. When Sally met Steve in the 1970s at Arizona State University, she was an all-American springboard diver, and he was a big-time pot dealer dispatching couriers with suitcases loaded with marijuana to Detroit, where he'd grown up. By his sophomore year, Steve was already living in a 3-bedroom house with a swimming pool. When Sally moved in, one of her friends saw Steve hand her stacks of bills to buy furniture with.
Damn.
Steve eventually stopped selling pot and went legit with his shoe stores, but by the early 80s, his businesses were struggling.
Should have stuck with pot.
Well, Jen, by
whoops.
then, America's tastes in drugs had changed.
Oh.
Cocaine was in, and Hollywood was cranking out movies about the trade in white powder. At a Chinese restaurant over red wine served in brandy snifters, Steve and John talked about how they could get in on the action. From his days in the drug business, Steve could locate sources in South America trafficking in cocaine and dealers in the U.S. to distribute it. John could be the front man for the enterprise, raising financing, managing logistics, and creating cover stories to conceal what they were really up to.
That terrifies me. The
that-
concept of getting in bed with the cartel in any way, shape, or form.
I'd have to be in with the cartel that gives out Xanax. Xanax bricks that we learned about last.
Especially after that one article that we read about the, when the hitman. Hell no. Never, ever, ever.
Money's not that serious.
No.
I mean, it is, but not cartel serious.
No.
John claimed that he never used drugs, and he always told Aaron and Meredith that people who did were fools. But he was so good at lying, and he loved money, particularly separating fools from it. As soon as the McCanns left Detroit to return home, Steve told Sally that he and John were getting into the cocaine business. Quote, "Are you kidding me?" Sally replied. Pot was one thing, but coke was serious. John and Steve didn't look like partners in crime. With his custom suits, John resembled a business executive, while Steve wore running clothes and carried himself with a bad boy swagger. But the two men shared a lifelong craving for status and attention, and they saw money as the way to get it. John liked tipping waiters, bellhops, and parking valets with $100 bills. As a college student, Steve had walked into a General Motors showroom and, after a salesman ignored him, whipped out a wad of cash and bought a Corvette on the spot.
They already kind of have that mafia mindset, at least from what I know of watching The Sopranos, where pulling out that big wad of cash immediately demands, people are like, oh, shit.
Like attention and respect.
And that's like a status thing right there. Like, I just have an endless cash flow and I can do whatever I want with it. And if you're in my orbit and you please me, you get
some.
You get a bit of it. Yeah.
In early 1982, John and Steve made their first score in Colombia. Steve told a friend that on an early smuggling run, he put cocaine in bags that he strapped to his torso with tape. By the time his flight landed in Miami, his skin had become so raw from the adhesive that he was bleeding.
What the hell kind of tape did he use?
Ew, that shit's contaminated.
Ugh.
He was terrified that he'd be caught, but he made it through customs. Different days.
Pre-drug sniffing dogs.
Yeah, I was about to say. Steve declined to be interviewed for this story, but replied to some questions over email. Okay.
What, in your professional opinion, is the best brand of running shoe?
What tape do you wish you would have used?
To run from the cartel in?
Gosh.
What brand of tape? Oh my God. It's like that one scene at the beginning of Orange is the New Black where the girl has the suitcase of drugs that, oh my God, what's her name? Piper.
Yeah.
That her girlfriend Alex gets her. Mm-hmm. She's just like, she puts her in a suit with like this nice like fake wig. And it's like, you're just a businesswoman here for the day. And then you'll be going right back home. She had her little like carry-on roll away. And I would be shitting myself. Oh.
Granted, I'd rather tape it to me than put it in a balloon and swallow it or shove it up my ass, like some stories.
Like Frank Gallagher and Shameless. Ugh. But yeah, just assume if you're doing drugs that they have been in an orifice of somebody's body at some point.
Yeah.
Think about that before you make that decision.
Soon after, in March, Leah threw a big 40th birthday party for John at the Lago Mar. According to Aaron, the celebration had a boardwalk theme. She and Meredith traveled to Florida for the party, as did plenty of Fox Chapel friends. Everyone had a great time, except John, who appeared distracted and depressed. Alita Blair later recounted how a friend had told her that she'd seen Leah and John after the party and asked them if everything was okay. Leah replied that they were having trouble paying bills. "Oh, John," Leah said, turning to her husband, "you'll come up with something. You always do." Within a few months, Leah stopped talking about unpaid bills. She also started paying for everything in cash. Even her manicurist noticed and brought it up with Alita Blair. That's weird. Because back then I would think paying the bills
I know, this is a time when people did pay in cash, but maybe it's because in the 80s, I only remember this from the story about Robert Chambers, that the wealthy families in Manhattan was all about the credit cards. It was all about having the Amex or the whatever.
Putting it on credit because they can be okay.
Yeah, so maybe because they are known for flaunting their wealth and are so publicly like lavish, all of a sudden that shift from card to exclusive cash, you'd be like,
it's fishy.
Okay. I mean, I'm still taking it, but...
I mean... I ain't gonna turn my nose up to cash.
Hell no.
John told people that he and Steve were taking business trips to South America to look at coal mines, oil and gas companies, and other investment opportunities. In fact, the two men had leased a private jet and installed a mirror-covered partition at the back of the passenger cabin. Behind that was a storage compartment. On the way to South America, it contained cash. Coming back, it was filled with cocaine.
Ding, ding, ding. So that was the other investment opportunities.
His new fad diet.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, that'll make you lose the weight.
John bought an expensive portable Betamax machine so he could watch movies on long flights.
What in the hell? Okay, sorry, we gotta look this up. What is what in the 80s? Betamax machine. The Betamax, often called Beta, is a discontinued consumer analog video cassette recording format developed by Sony and introduced in 1975. widely celebrated for its superior picture and audio quality compared to VHS, it ultimately lost the format war due to shorter recording times and higher production costs. So the pictures of it is just like a thick VCR.
I mean, is that not what, like...
And the ad says, watch whatever, whenever. I guess because it was
Interesting.
portable. So that means it had to be battery powered.
That's crazy, because it looks just like a normal one that you'd have in your house.
Yeah.
Like, we had that.
Huh. And it's got
We were
like a,
rich.
but it's got a thing for video.
Yeah, and a cassette.
Yeah. Interesting.
Hmm.
Man, my 7-year-old would love to
Good
take one of
God.
those things apart and get it running. That's so weird though. Huh.
Luxury.
Luxury. That was the height of luxury. Watch whatever, wherever. Whenever.
Honestly.
Whatever, wherever.
Whenever. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I mean, I remember portable DVD players. Now I just have my portable phone.
Oh, I thought I was the shit when my dad took me to Costco and bought me a little portable DVD player for my birthday. And I had a case for it, like a Velcro case with a big strap.
Yep. Oh my God.
And I would watch and rewatch the Lizzie McGuire movie, A Cinderella Story, and
She's the Man.
She's the Man.
Sydney White.
Mhm.
Yep.
Ever After.
Aquamarine.
Oh,
Outlet Enchanted.
man.
Gosh. And, you know, we went on vacation. We weren't getting drugs.
Yeah,
At least
exactly.
not that I knew of. I didn't partake in.
That was the height of my luxury, was in the minivan on the way to soccer practice with my giant bucket, water bottle, and my portable DVD player.
Hell yeah.
Man,
Shout out, Mr. Tony.
good taste. Yeah.
You're the best. No one was funnier to him than John Belushi. And he thought The Blues Brothers was a great movie. John liked to imitate Jake Belushi's character, and shout Dan Aykroyd's famous line, "We're on a mission from God." Oh gosh.
I'm not old enough to know that one.
You don't know?
Mm-mm.
You've never seen The Blues Brothers?
No.
I've definitely seen it. I can't like quote it by any means,
I
but
know,
I've seen it.
I know who John Belushi is,
Mhm.
but that just was a little bit before my time.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good. I've only heard good things about it.
Okay.
There's Blues Brothers, like, restaurants and bars.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. I know what you're talking about now.
The cover story John settled on for the smuggling operation was that he was investing in South American shrimp farming. He opened an office in Guayaquil, Ecuador, and hired a woman named Josefina to run it. He had a marine biologist take him around to farms that were for sale and brought boxes of frozen shrimp back to Fox Chapel he claimed were from his new business.
Meanwhile, every single shrimp had a tiny bag of cocaine shoved up
Oh,
its butt.
hell yeah. I love the And my sister was pregnant and she lost all her legs. Every time I had a shrimp in Mexico.
And then he told me to swallow this little bag of white powder.
He shoved it up my ass. And it really hurts right now.
Going to hell.
We need a shirt with a shrimp with a bag of cocaine.
No. Poor little shrimp. Oh my god. Then the wrong box of shrimp goes to like a hibachi house.
Oh my god.
People just eating cocaine shrimp.
This makes me wanna watch
god.
the one Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Oh, the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
That seems like some shit that they would have done. These are imported shrimps with cocaine shoved up their ass.
I'm sorry.
That was funny.
That's a lot of a lot of effort to go through, like getting the farm, visiting farms, and then bringing back shrimp just to like
Yeah, I
keep
mean,
the front.
I guess you gotta go to great lengths to cover your ass.
You gotta believe your lies
Mm-hmm.
to tell your
Yeah.
lies.
And it's something so random.
Yeah.
South American shrimp farming, but that's also what really astute and successful businessmen do, is
Yeah.
they find that niche thing that actually is a huge popular commodity, and then you just rake in the money.
That's crazy.
Or shove cocaine up their ass.
Initially, John and Steve purchased cocaine in Colombia and flew it to the Bahamas, where the drugs transferred into suitcases were placed on chartered fishing boats bound for Florida. To smuggle one shipment, John paid a bartender he knew to take his wife on a honeymoon in the Caribbean and, in return, bring back luggage filled with coke. Posing as newlyweds, John said, would make, quote, excellent cover. As an added touch, he gave the bartender a fake identity. Quote, I was supposed to be a truck dealer or a president of a trucking company, the man later told investigators. We had cards printed up and letterhead. As the size of their operations grew, John and Steve changed their smuggling route. By mid-1983, they were flying large loads of coke into Monterrey, Mexico, where they transferred it to a Chevrolet pickup truck that had storage compartments hidden in the chassis. The truck's driver, bound for Texas, stopped at a horse racing track on the way and spread betting slips on the dashboard to make it appear that he was returning home from a day of gambling south of the border.
They really are covering themselves.
Gosh. Soon, John and Steve were spending money like crazy. Steve indulged a long-held fantasy, paying $40,000 for a souped-up 1983 Chevrolet Camaro that had just won the Trans Am Championship.
Damn.
After a week of professional training, he began competing on the Trans Am circuit, racing against other drivers, including the actor Paul Newman.
He was probably snorting that shrimp butt coke himself.
I'm never going to be able to eat shrimp this He's like,
Rest in peace. Oh my god. It's got it like the shrimp-shaped snuff box, but it's cocaine.
we need a shrimp is bugs, but shrimp is
Oh.
drugs.
Shrimps is drugs. Yes. Oh my
gosh.
Yes.
Fuck, I have other things I need to embroider, but Jen, that's being made.
Shrimps is drugs.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god. That's intense though.
That's crazy.
And risky. That's very risky.
You know what? Cocaine will give you a little bit of that adrenaline.
Cocaine gives you wings.
Steve also remodeled a lakefront home in Michigan and threw raucous parties. At one, a mariachi band entertained hundreds of guests. According to an article in the Detroit Free Press, Steve, John, and Rocky Blair got into a food fight at one gathering.
Y'all.
Throwing shrimp at each other before engaging in a wrestling match.
Not the drugs. I know we completely made it up, but now I cannot get it out of my mind that the shrimps were the ones trafficking the drugs inside of themselves. That would stink, though.
Oh, God. Ew.
Ugh. Afterward, hell no.
John also had a taste for cars, and he bought a Cadillac and a replica of a 1937 Jaguar. He had the doors on the vehicles embossed with the McCann crest. He bought a pony for Meredith and gave Leah a gold Rolex and a diamond necklace. He loved turning gift-giving into a public display of wealth. Ick.
Yeah.
Once, when Aaron and Meredith were with their parents at the Pittsburgh Field Club, a waiter placed a Cure Royal in front of their mother. There was something shiny at the bottom of the cocktail. Emerald-cut diamond earrings. Aaron thought they were beautiful.
My ass would have drank that down. It would have been gone.
Honestly, this picture of John and Steve is fucking hilarious because he looks like a rat for one, John. Steve in his little Adidas, is that Adidas?
Yeah, and his like Adidas
Okay, but he's
tracksuit.
cute. He's a little cutie.
He's a cutie. John looks like Tony Soprano. He really looks like
He looks like a rat.
He does.
He looked like the rat and flushed away that.
Oh my God.
Pushed just the one rat down the toilet.
He looks like he's up to something. But Steve, like, he could sell me sneakers.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's cute. He's got that shaggy hair.
He is. I can't believe how much younger, too, he is than John.
Ugh.
I pictured them both as being kind of like older, paunchy, you know, like, I don't know, like having that Tony Soprano big belly look, but no,
Ooh.
they just look like normal people, and Steve's cutie. And John's holding a handmade for sale sign.
Poor Steve.
Yes. At the beginning of the summer of 1984, the McCanns threw a party in Fox Chapel. Aaron, Meredith, and their friends danced on a wooden platform next to the pool while a DJ played Motown and Michael Jackson hits. Guests dined on lobster, and there were machines that made popcorn and snow cones. Bars were set up around the property. John didn't drink much, but Leah was so fond of her Manhattans that he nicknamed her Lady M. That's
Okay.
funny. Aaron and Meredith were looking forward to the rest of the summer. They usually went to a camp in South Carolina. But a few weeks after the party, their father announced that he had a special treat for them. They were going to stay for a month at Josefina's home in Guayaquil and take educational trips to the Galapagos Islands and the Amazon.
Fuck yeah. But fuck no, too. You know, it's like
The Galapagos Islands sounds super cool because the tortoises, you know?
everything.
The Amazon, I just immediately thought of Juliana Kupke
the
surviving
Amazon,
in the...
That was my fuck no.
Beautiful,
Beautiful.
gorgeous. I would like to observe it from the safety of an airplane that does not crash.
Not even an airplane, no. I'll just watch it on my Betamax.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You're better.
I'm good.
Watch wherever, whenever.
Yep.
The girls hated the idea of being away from their friends in a country they had never been to before, but they knew not to argue with their father. They loved him, but they also feared him. He would explode with rage and scream when challenged or disobeyed. He never struck them, but once when Aaron refused to share a bowl of popcorn with him, he threw it at her with such force that the bowl broke when it hit her arm. Okay?
Yeah, again, he's a
No.
rat.
Yeah, exactly. The girls had seen him hurl objects at their mother, too. Oh, lovely. And one day, as Leah ran through the house, slamming doors to escape from John, the wooden letters that spelled out Aaron's name on her bedroom door fell to the ground. Parts of the girls' trip to South America were spectacular. They cruised on a boat through the Galapagos, spotting marine iguanas and penguins, and swam alongside sea lions and reef sharks. During a hike in the Amazon, a guide snapped open a tree branch and dared them to eat the ants pouring out of it.
I would sooner suck the cocaine out of the shrimp's ass.
Amen. That's your bumper sticker. I would sooner suck cocaine out of a shrimp's ass. Y'all.
I'm sorry.
I'm so
I am
sorry.
immediately going home and making merch.
Please do. When they did, their mouths erupted with the taste of a lemon. No, thank you. At a monument in Quito, marking the location of the equator, they stood with their feet straddling the Earth's two hemispheres. Okay, that's cool.
Sick.
That's so cool. Most days, however, they were homesick. They didn't get along with Josefina. They hated her cooking and were glad to have a duffel bag filled with M&Ms, Twizzlers, and bite-sized candy bars their dad had given them for the trip. For her part, Josefina wasn't crazy about having the girls around. The younger one is nice, she later said in an interview with investigators referring to Meredith, but the older one is a brat, just like her father. Going back to Fox Chapel early wasn't an option. John had sent his daughters to South America to get them out of the way while he plotted his next move. So he sent them all the way to South America.
Literally.
Good Lord. 2 years earlier, in October 1982, President Ronald Reagan had announced a major escalation in the war on drugs, and as part of that effort, strike forces comprising agents from the FBI, DEA, IRS, and other agencies were going after suspected smugglers. Investigators working with a federal prosecutor in Detroit named Michael Liebson got an anonymous tip that coke was fueling Steve Hagerman's extravagant lifestyle. John also attracted the attention of federal officials. In early 1984, he arrived at the Miami airport on a flight from Central America, a London fog raincoat draped over his arm. When a customs agent inspected it, he found that the coat had 17 hidden pockets. One of them contained $11,250 in cash and a notebook filled with names and phone numbers. The other contained 100 shrimps with cocaine. Is that good impression? Oh.
Shrimp will never be the same.
No, it won't. You poor little shrimps, R.I.P. Officials seized the money and the notebook. It was only a matter of time before the feds connected the dots and learned that Steve and John were working together. John began making contingency plans. Alita Blair was visiting Leah one day when a real estate agent walked in with clients shopping for a house. Leah brushed off the showing, telling Alita that she and John just wanted to test the market in case they ever decided to sell. John also hired a private investigator to check if his phones were tapped. Aaron and Meredith came home at the end of the summer and went back to school. In mid-September, John and Steve left for another business trip, this time to Bolivia. John was now presenting himself as a sales rep for Hughes Aircraft, a helicopter manufacturer. After dining with 2 Bolivian generals at a hotel in Sucre, John showed the men a 45-minute film demonstrating the military capabilities of a Hughes chopper. He then gave each general a revolver purchased in the U.S. In return, he and Steve received a charango, a traditional Bolivian stringed instrument. After the meeting, Steve called it a cheap ukulele. John and Steve eventually got down to the real business they had come for, picking up 100 kilos of cocaine. They flew on their jet to Monterrey, where, John later said, he and Josefina hauled suitcases of coke to a deserted road and stuffed them in the customized Chevy pickup. Poor Josefina. I hope he was paying her well. Sounds like he was playing her too. The plane continued to Laredo, Texas, where federal agents were waiting. Investigators had used an informant to track the jet, and now a drug dog went crazy sniffing around the mirrored partition. The cocaine was already gone, though, and John and Steve weren't on the plane either. The 2 men had stayed behind in Mexico. After learning about the raid, John and Steve fled to Canada. According to Sally, Steve considered D.B. Cooper, the airline hijacker who'd vanished in 1971 after escaping by parachute with a $200,000 ransom, a personal hero. He and John were certain they could disappear too, and with their families in tow. In September 1984, federal agents fanned out to serve grand jury subpoenas to dozens of people suspected of being involved in the smuggling operation. When Meredith answered the door of her family's home for 2 agents, Leah quickly plotted her escape. She dropped Meredith at school, waited for the men to leave, and snuck back into the house to pack a bag. Then she flew to Detroit to join Sally. Both Leah and Sally knew their days as wealthy suburban housewives were over, and that they needed to figure out what to do next. At first, Sally considered staying behind to face the music. Earlier that year, she had discovered that Steve was having an affair with a woman named Heidi, who worked at one of his shoe stores.
I would have sold him down the river.
Sally had talked to a therapist about divorce, but by September, she was 5 months pregnant. After 2 miscarriages, oh, that's sad. What she wanted most was a family, and that meant staying with Steve. Leah was not going to leave John, simple as that. He told her that a family traveling together was unlikely to attract attention when crossing borders. So, Leah sent for her daughters in Fox Chapel. And that is where we're going to put a pause on part 1 of what will be this 2-parter. We are exactly halfway through.
Yes, I'm invested.
I know.
I don't know if it's the shrimp, but like I'm actually like this. I like the setting of this.
This is so interesting. And just looking at the title of the next chapter, this was a great stopping point because the title of the next chapter we will start with in part 2 is called Fugitives. So we have been through this entire rich backstory leading up to the point where they now go on the run.
We just hit the full circle.
I think I like this so much because a lot of times we get the fugitive part first, you know, like hearing what happened and then get the backstory of the criminal. But I like that it's been a chronological
this is more
timeline.
like your writing.
Oh, thank you. Like that narrative storytelling that starts at the beginning and goes forward.
I also, going into this, all I knew was on the run and cocaine. I, now knowing that these girls also survived an abusive household is all the more amazing for a survival story. I can't even imagine.
Because while it's not abuse to the degree of some of the things that we've covered, that doesn't mean that for them in their life it was any less traumatic and any less damaging. And also, I'm sure that there's a lot more that just did not make it into the story. But if you have a parent who's capable of the stuff that was going on, and clearly sometimes the cracks in his narcissistic personality would, you know, reveal who he was in anger, that's very scary. And just the instability of being told you're being whisked away for the summer.
They were at boarding schools. They got to go to villas. They got to travel. But that money didn't buy them a stable family. It didn't buy them a happy family. It didn't buy them like what children truly need, which is stability and love and all that.
And I know the word narcissist gets thrown around so much and it gets overused, but I'm not saying that this man, that their dad is John is a clinical narcissist, but it's certainly narcissistic behavior to do the things like, oh, the gifts he gave were so that people would then look at him and be like, oh, look at his wealth. That it was all about how it would be a benefit to him. The same with
he was presented.
The same with sending them on this adventure to South America.
His daughters being skinny, his daughters dressing appropriately, his daughters having matching
just
hair.
Viewing them as an extension of himself and wanting that absolute control over them, which is why he flew off the handle when his daughter wouldn't share the popcorn with him, cut her hair, or just didn't do what he wanted. And that's really gross and not okay. That being said, I find the level of diabolicalness and the level of effort that links that people are willing to go to make money and have the stakes be so high all the time just so they can have a fat bank account. That's too much for me. Like, I love the thought of having money in the bank, but not to this extent.
They had to be sampling their products.
Oh, 1,000%. In order to constantly come up with a new scheme every 5 minutes. But this feels like some sort of HBO TV show. Just this episode alone, the shenanigans that Steve and John get through alone. And we're just halfway through the story. They haven't even really gone on the run yet. So make sure you guys come back next week for us to drop part 2. I am really excited to continue reading this story. And in the meantime, if you can't wait and you need to read ahead the rest of it, We'll be sure to link this in the show notes and on our Instagram. Thank you again to Barry Meier for
Yeah.
writing this piece. And originally, I don't think I mentioned this at the top, but he wrote it for Atavist Magazine.
Okay.
And then Long Reads published it. So that's how we have been able to read this for you guys. And please come back for part 2.
And while you're at it,
Mhm.
like and subscribe and
Mhm.
leave a comment a nice comment. But yeah, the world is a scary place. So always have courage and stay kind.
Of a bitch.
Bye.